Research is very, very important. Try to research to the kind of film the production company is shooting so that you can now prepare a compelling monologue that can. My name is Emmanuel Eyaba and I am your host, and this is Nollywood Online Film School, where we tend to give you simple tips that you need to know as a filmmaker, as an actor, as someone who wants to be in the Nollywood ecosystem. All right, recently I was invited for an audition somewhere in Abuja, and yeah, for some time I've actually not conducted auditions because I do most of table casting, where I work with people I already know. But this time around I was given an opportunity to audition new people, and I noticed a lot of mistakes most actors who came were making. So it was actually from the background of that audition exercise that I decided to come up with some of those points that I think are things you need to know and understand if you want to get a callback during an auditions. Now, a lot of persons do go for auditions. In fact, for as long as I know, some people have been going for auditions for the past 20 years and they've not actually gotten a callback. They've not actually gotten a meaningful role. All the roles you get are roles that are just maybe extras, or what we call worker passes. That's the best you get. You know, with the little tips I'm going to be teaching you today, you can actually do better, get a callback if you go for auditions. You know, just come with me. Do not be in a hurry. Come with me as I take you through some simple, very simple, practical steps that you should take to heart before and when you go for an auditions. If you've not subscribed to this channel, I actually want you to go right now and subscribe to this channel, because you'll be getting more videos centered on this topic. You can also click the notification button. You can also like it, share it, and comment. If there's just anything in the film system you want us to talk about, just come to the comment section and drop the comment there, and I promise you we're going to talk about it. All right, let us go now to the topic of the day. Things you should do before you go for an auditions. Now, the first thing you should do when you go for an auditions is, when you get the notice for an auditions, ask some fundamental questions. Which production house is organizing these auditions? Now, it is important to note, because different directors, different production houses have different kind of films they make. Now, you want to go for a cinema auditions, and you go with the mentality of the kind of acting we call the Asaba acting. I promise you, you're not going to get a role. Now, cinema kind of filmmaking does not require people overacting or over shouting. They want method actors, actors who react, and not actors who gesticulate. Gesticulating comes to play when you are trying to do stage, not where you are on film. For stage now, people are going to be watching you from a very big, high distance. But for film, the camera is very close to you, so it tends to get all the reactions from your faces. But if you're doing stage, the place is big and people are really not seeing your facial reaction, but they are seeing your gesticulations. That's where all this so much reaction happens. But when you're acting for cinema, it's about the face. So before you go for any audition, for instance, I could also give another example. Now, try to find out who is directing, who is producing. Now, when you're coming for an Emmanuel Eyaba kind of shoot, there are things you should expect. I, for instance, do not like people who overreact when acting. But there are some of my colleagues who actually like that. That is their style. Now, if you go to their auditions with Emmanuel Eyaba, thinking about Emmanuel Eyaba as the bone of contention, you might likely not get the role. So what you do now is ask those fundamental questions. Try to find out what the kind of films they make. When you now know the kind of films they make, it will help you. It will help you know how to react, how to the kind of things you produce for them in that audition. And I tell you something, when you go with the style of the director in mind, or the style of the production house in mind, guess what? You will definitely be given a role. I'm sure you never thought about this before now. You just feel that, oh, audition day somewhere, you run, go. Not even making some inquiry to know who is behind that audition. Please, from today, before you go for any audition at all, just any audition, try to find out the production house. What A calls a good acting, B might not say it's a good acting. For him, it might be a bad acting. If you go to some people and you go there and you don't show expression, you just go, they act small, they'll think you don't know how to act. They want you to be expressive. So, but when you now know the kind of director who is directing or the production house that is producing, you're now conversant with their style. So you now give them what they want, because all you need is a callback. Okay, right now, you now know that you should try to know the kind of films the filmmaker makes so that you can prepare. The next thing now is prepare a compelling monologue. Now, there are some auditions that ask you to prepare a monologue and come. Some will give you a monologue to prepare and come. Whichever the case is, if they just ask you to go for an audition, you on your own prepare your own monologue, right? Prepare your own monologue before you go to that place. Now, when you're preparing a monologue, get a compelling monologue. What I see most actors do when they go on set these days is to come and be giving us a shallow monologue. How are you? You think I'll follow you to that place? No, those are not compelling. Those kind of monologues do not really show the kind of character that you need. You're going to do a compelling monologue. Check out a monologue that is emotionally driven. Now, I've been watching a couple of monologues, and I realized that directors or judges tend to get emotionally attached to monologues that are emotionally driven. Emotionally driven in the sense that, yeah, you could do a lady who was battered by a husband, by a boyfriend, a lady who just lost a child, a lady who just lost a husband, a lady who just was served breakfast, or called breakfast, or served a heartbreak, Get all of such compelling monologues, something very compelling, something that the judges will be compelled to want to listen, something that judges cannot tell you to cut. If you just go there and start showing that you're being rash, just go there, start lighting cigarettes, you're definitely not going to get a call back, because they'll be like, there's no depth in your acting. Do something that will show transformation. You could do a monologue, a woman who is psychologically depressed, she's mentally depressed, a monologue that will show different variations of your acting. Do a monologue that will show us that you're happy, a monologue that will show us that you're sad, a monologue that will show that you can be very angry. It's a process of your transition. That is what the directors are looking out for. They want to see how you progress, how you're able to move from point A to point B, because acting is all about reacting. Acting is actually not about what you say. It's about how you react to what you say. So before you go for that audition, when you must have researched to the kind of films the company is making, try also to prepare a very compelling monologue. My dear, a compelling monologue is something you can never miss. If you go to an audition with a compelling monologue, the directors will be like, wow, this is the character we're looking for. Now, if for instance now you go for an audition, so you've done your research and you now find out that it's a comedy company, companies that are into comedy, you cannot prepare a comic monologue. You see, that is where the purpose of research is very important. You cannot go for a company that wants to shoot comedy and you're not going to give an emotional monologue. They will not give you a call back. So research is actually very key, because when you research, you now understand, okay, now a company that does a lot of action films, you now go there and prepare a monologue that shows that you're a don. Do you understand? You could be given the don role. Now, because these people are doing action films. They are doing films that have to do with ghetto. Like, okay, you're going for a Funka Kindele kind of audition, for instance, now, and you go there preparing an emotional monologue. It's not going to work for you. If you go for a Funka Kindele's audition, you should go and prepare yourself a comic character, because she would definitely be wanting to do a comedy. Even if it's not full 100% comedy, there's going to be some elements of comedy into it. So research before you go for auditions plays a very vital and important role if you must get a callback. Research is very important. Try to research to the kind of film the production company is shooting, so that you can now prepare a compelling monologue that can help you get a callback. The next thing you should understand now before you go for that auditions is to make sure you go early. I see a lot of persons come for auditions very late. Auditions say 10 o'clock and you're coming by 2 when the judges are already exhausted. We've already gotten what we want. So at that time you come now, they just want to make you complete the numbers. They just want to okay, do and go. Do you understand? That does not give you the best. Come early so that you know what others are doing, so that you can also do it. And I get to see people come for auditions late and they will now start greeting everybody in audition hall. They'll be walking, greeting. All of that is a distraction. When you do that, you're actually not likely going to get a call back because you came for an auditions late. Lateness is something you must avoid if you want to get a call back during an auditions. All right, the next one now we should be looking at is your dressing. When you go for an auditions, please, I beg you, do not underdress, do not overdress. Some people go for an auditions underdressed, you know, they wear slippers. You do not wear slippers for an auditions. Either you wear a cover shoe, wear a sandals, or look neat. Now, do not underdress, because underdressing is as bad as overdressing. You go for an audition looking overdressed, tying a very big hair tie, you know, or wearing a very tight suit, or, you know, do something that will make you very flexible, something that will allow you freedom of expression. You can express yourself with ease. I will want to recommend jeans and a shirt. It's cool, you know, and don't go looking so corporate. You know, some people talking, wear coats for an auditions. To me, I think it's actually not good. Just wear what makes you look good. You know, don't go underdressed. Some ladies, I see some ladies go for an auditions and they wear very revealing things. Now, once you go for an audition wearing something revealing, it's just one thing you're trying to make the judges know. You want to come and seduce them. You want them to come and sleep with you to give you a role. Now, some directors do not care, but some will just take advantage of you, and I'm sure you do not want anyone to take advantage of you because you went for an auditions. So if you're going for an auditions, make sure you do not overdress, and also make sure you do not underdress. Just try to be modest, be moderate. Even with the makeup for ladies, do not go rubbing yourself with so much makeup. We want to see you in your natural state. We want to see you how you could be without makeup. Even if you must do makeup, let it be very mild, you know, just a little lipstick, a little eye pencil, a little eyeshadow, and the foundation too should be very, very minimal, because you do not know what the filmmakers are looking for. They could be looking at someone who is very natural. Yesterday we were looking for someone who is a very, very natural, beautiful lady, and most of the people who came for auditions were looking heavily made up, you know. So with that kind of dressing in mind, you're bound not to get a call back, because you like, and they won't tell you to come and take off your makeup. They'll think they'll be stressing you so much. Do you understand? So don't go to an audition looking overdressed. Make sure you are moderately dressed. Then I'm sure you are going to get a call back. All right, now we're also going to be looking at something else that makes you not to get a call back when you go for an audition. You go for an auditions because, and there are about 4 or 5 judges, and you think you know one of the judges, you're now going to start forming familiarity. That is actually wrong. Do not do that, because you do not know, maybe whatever judgment the one of the directors you just greeted takes, they will think it's been influenced by your familiarity with him. So when you go for an audition, even if you know anybody in the auditions ground, just make it a general greeting. Good morning, sirs. Good morning, mass. Good morning, everyone. That one now is generalistic. It's only if the person recognizes and calls you by name for whatever reason. For instance, if we are looking for a particular character right now and you walk in and the other director or other judge does not know you, I can easily put a word that this guy, I know him, he's good. That one will now make the other ones to pay attention to see what you want to do. But when you go to an audition, especially the ladies, you're a lady and one of the judges is a guy and you know him and you're now going to form familiarity with him, the other person will now begin to think, okay, maybe there's something happening between both of you, and you're likely not going to get a call back. And he's also going to try to play safe because he does not want to create so much familiarity with you, so it does not also affect and spoil his own reputation with the organization. I mean, I cannot come and spoil my reputation with the people I'm working with because I want to form familiarity with you. It is wrong. Calm down, do what you've come to do, and leave. After the auditions, you can meet outside and exchange pleasantries. That is cool. So you do not go to an audition claiming familiarity. It will actually stop your chances of getting a call back. Yeah, for you to also get a call back, you need to listen for instructions. I see persons come to audition ground and make so many mistakes. Now, when you make so many mistakes like that, you're actually making the judges to feel you do not know what you're doing. Now, the director of the film might not necessarily be the casting director. You know, in some big films, they invite casting directors separately to come and audition. So they might actually not know you. All they want is they are looking for talent. A good director might actually not be someone who knows how to cast. You might just want to hire a casting director outside. So when you go for an auditions, make sure you listen to instructions. If they tell you do XYZ, do XYZ. Not when they tell you to do XYZ, you do YZX. You're likely not going to get a call back. Because let me tell you the truth, for the close to 20 years I've been directing, I do not want any actor that will give me stress. No director wants an actor that will give them stress. We don't want actors that can listen to instructions, follow instructions, and do what they need to do. And guess what? If you follow those principles, you're definitely going to get a call back. Then there's another thing I see most people do when they go for auditions. You go for an audition and you're not audible. A judge will be telling you, can you speak louder? If I tell you speak louder twice, which means you're definitely going to stress me during shoot. I don't have that kind of time to get through all of this kind of encumbrances. I don't have the time. So when you go for an audition, try to be very audible. Project, stay where you are, listen to instructions. Not when you come, some people will just come and come too close to the audition table. The judge will not tell you, okay, shift back. When you now shift back, you now guess what? Yeah, you start getting distracted. You know, your confidence level will start dropping because they're already making you come out of character. You know, so what you do is most of the times there's always a mark. Look out for the mark. If there is no mark, come a little bit sizable distance, stand, wait for instructions. If they tell you to come close, you come close. Tell you to go back, you go back. But you should be prepared for anything because anything might happen. And listen and pay attention. And when you're to speak, be very audible. When you do these things, you are definitely bound to get a call back for an auditions. Another thing you should note when you go for an auditions to get a call back is build eye contact with the judges. I see people go for auditions and when they are auditioning, instead of them to be looking at the judges, they will be looking elsewhere. That is called distraction in filmmaking. You don't get distracted. Now, what connects the actor to the judge is the eyes. So you act and look at the judge because it helps him to connect to what you're saying, not him trying to get what you're saying. He doesn't need to get what you're saying. He just needs to understand what you're saying. So when you go for an auditions, try to build eye contact with the judges. Try to, if there are more than one judges, try to separate and spread your acting amongst all of them. You could do eye contacts for A, B, and C simultaneously. Not you backing them. Most people go for auditions and they back the judges. That is very wrong. You do not back judges. You try to create good eye contacts with them. And also try to work on your intonation. When I mean intonation, I'm not talking about phoneme. Some people go for auditions and start forming phoneme. What the character are looking for is a local person, and you're not bringing phoneme. You're bound not to get a call back. So when you go for an auditions, try to make sure that you build serious eye contact with the judges. Build eye contact with the judges. Do the best you can. Your pronunciation should be very clear and audible. And if you do these things, I promise you, you're definitely going to get a call back. And finally, if you want to get a call back when you go for a movie audition, is to make sure you act like you're acting for the camera, not for stage. I said it before, there is a difference between stage acting and acting for the camera. Acting for the camera now, you're closer to the camera. Whereas for stage, it's for a big audience where you need so much expression. But for film, you actually don't need to, you need to have so much expression because all they want is your reaction from your face. So you don't go there beginning to be so expressive. Go there and do your thing and act for the camera. Do not act for stage. If you act for stage, you're definitely likely not going to get a call back, except it's actually a stage performance that they are looking for. There you could get. But I tell you something, if any production is doing a stage performance, they will say this is a stage performance. If it's a film, they will also say this for film. So the onus now lies on you to understand the kind of thing you should expect when you go for an audition. All right, this has been me, Emmanuel Eyaba, your life coach and film coach. Basically what I do is to coach people, mentor people in the art and science of filmmaking. This is Nollywood Online Film School, where we try to give you simple tips that can help take your acting career from point A to point Z. There's so much competition in the film industry right now. If you must get a call back for that production, follow these simple steps, and I guarantee you, if you follow these 8 steps very well, I guarantee you, if you go for any auditions, trust me, you're going to get a call back. Thank you so much. If you watched this video to the end, I'm really super excited that you came back. If there's anything troubling you in the art and science of filmmaking you do not understand, just simply come to my comment section and send me a message, and I promise you I'm going to deal with it to the best of my abilities. We also help train young filmmakers in the from script writing till editing. Whatever field you want to belong to, just go ahead and hit us up, and we will definitely put you through so that you could become a better filmmaker. If you've not subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? It's easy and it's free. Click the subscription button, click the notification button, click like, share it, comment. Let's get the conversation going. If there's any other thing you feel you want to add, you can add. If you've done all of these things and you still have not gotten a call back, I think what you need is prayer. Just come. We can also lay hands on you, because we are also called into the ministry of deliverance. So thank you very much, people, for watching. I remain your humble host, Emmanuel Yaba. See you some other time. Bye bye.